At the age of 23, you can see here that Nikki has a rounded hairline configuration. She has slight dorsal convexity on the bridge of her nose, and she has full tooth show when she smiles. She also has a thin upper lip that appears to curl in on smile. And Nikki has a strong lower jaw structure. At the age of 24, we see here that Nikki has that youthful infrabrow fullness. She also has a prominent orbicularis oculi muscle, and you can see that at the upper part of her lower eyelid. Nikki also has some nice cheek volume, with the medial portion being more prominent than the lateral portion. At the age of 28, we see here that the lateral eyebrow is slightly lower than her medial brow. And this is the same type of configuration that we can see when we look back at Nikki in her teenage years. When you look at her entire eye socket, you can see that the right side is slightly lower than the left. Nikki has minimal nasal tip bulbosity. And at the age of 31, when we look at Nikki's forehead and glabellar areas, we're starting to see some early static lines. At the age of 33, we're starting to see that Nikki has deepening tear troughs. That's the boundary between the lower eyelid and the cheek structure. We can also observe here that Nikki has limited philtral and Cupid's bow definition. At the age of 35, I think this is where she started to introduce some neurotoxin or Botox potentially to her forehead, the glabellar area, and possibly the crow's feet. At the age of 40, I'm seeing here now the potential introduction of lip filler. But this is being done subtly, and really she doesn't have much distortion. You can tell that the lips look different, but they still look natural and it still looks like her. In addition, it looks like Nikki may have started to introduce cheek filler. I'm seeing more medial and lateral volume in her cheeks, and her tear trough is less obvious to me. And we know that with injecting filler into the cheeks, it can do some degree of lifting that can start to reduce the appearance of that tear trough. But kudos to Nikki and to her injector, because she still looks very youthful and natural and not overdone.